Hello students, today we will study redox reactions and oxidation in everyday life of chapter 1, chemical reactions and equation. This is the last topic of this chapter. Let's discuss the redox reaction. First question which arises in our mind is, what is a redox reaction? Redox is a combination of two reactions, reduction and oxidation. Both the process occur simultaneously. Hence, in a reaction, one of the substance get oxidized and another get reduced. So now question arises, what is oxidation and what is reduction? There are three different versions of this definition. We'll understand it one by one. In oxidation reaction, there is gain in oxygen or loss of hydrogen or loss of electrons. In reduction reaction, there is loss of oxygen, gain in hydrogen or gain of electrons takes place. Now you can see that oxidation and reduction are just reverse to each other. If in oxidation there is gain of oxygen, then in reduction there is loss of oxygen. Similarly, if there is loss of hydrogen in oxidation, then there is gain in hydrogen in reduction. What is an oxidizing agent and reducing agent? An oxidizing agent is a chemical species that causes the other reactant in a redox reaction to be oxidized, and it is always reduced in the process. In other words, an oxidizing agent always provides oxygen to other reactant in a reaction. A reducing agent is a chemical species that causes the reactant in a redox reaction to be reduced, and it always oxidizes in the process. In other words, a reducing agent always takes the oxygen from the other reactant to get reduced. Now let's understand oxidation and reduction in terms of oxygen. During oxidation, there is gain of oxygen in a species. For example, magnesium is oxidized to magnesium oxide. In reduction, there is loss of oxygen in a species. For example, water is reduced to hydrogen gas. Now, one point you have to note is that it's a gain or loss of oxygen atom, not a ion. Now let's understand oxidation with the help of this example. In this reaction, calcium reacts with oxygen to form calcium oxide. Now you can see by the end of the reaction, calcium has gained one oxygen atom. This means calcium has been oxidized to calcium oxide. This process is called oxidation. There is a gain of oxygen atom. Now let's take one more example to understand redox reaction. The reaction between magnesium and lead oxide to form magnesium oxide and lead. In this reaction, magnesium gains one atom of oxygen to form magnesium oxide. Therefore, it is undergoing oxidation process. Lead oxide loses one atom of oxygen to form lead. Therefore, it is undergoing reduction process. In this reaction, magnesium is acting as a reducing agent as it takes one atom of oxygen from lead oxide to form magnesium oxide. And lead oxide acts as a oxidizing agent as it provides an atom of oxygen to magnesium to form magnesium oxide. So it is very clear that in this reaction, magnesium is getting oxidized as it is gaining one atom of oxygen and acting as a reducing agent. And lead oxide, it is acting as a oxidizing agent as it gives oxygen. Since it loses an atom of oxygen, it is getting reduced. Now let's understand oxidation and reduction in terms of hydrogen. In oxidation, loss of hydrogen in a species takes place. Example, water is oxidized to oxygen gas. In reduction, gain of hydrogen in a species takes place. Example, oxygen is reduced to H2O2, that is hydrogen peroxide. Now, one thing very important to note, it's a gain or loss of hydrogen atom, not hydrogen ion. Always remember, an atom can be lost or gained, not an ion. Now let's understand a redox reaction in terms of gain of hydrogen and loss of hydrogen. The reaction between hydrogen sulfide and chlorine to form hydrogen chloride and sulfur. In this reaction, hydrogen sulfide loses an atom of hydrogen to form sulfur. Therefore, it is undergoing oxidation reaction and it is acting as a reducing agent. Here, hydrogen sulfide reduces chlorine to form hydrogen chloride. Chlorine gas, it is gaining one atom of hydrogen to form hydrogen chloride, therefore undergoing reduction process. Here, chlorine is acting as an oxidizing agent. Chlorine oxidizes hydrogen sulfide to sulfur. So it is very clear that chlorine, which is getting reduced, is acting as an oxidizing agent, and hydrogen sulfide, which is getting oxidized, is acting as a reducing agent. Thus, this reaction is a redox reaction where the oxidation and reduction is taking place simultaneously. Now let's discuss redox reaction in terms of transfer of electrons. Oxidation involves the loss of electrons, reduction involves the gain of electrons. The substance which loses electron is said to be oxidized. The substance which gains electron is said to be reduced. Metals are oxidized as they lose their electron to form cations. Nonmetals are reduced as they gain electron to form anions. Let's understand this with the help of an example. Sodium reacts with chlorine to form sodium chloride. In this reaction, each sodium atom loses one electron to form sodium ion. Since loss of electron is taking place, the conversion of sodium to sodium chloride is called oxidation process. Each chlorine atom gains one electron to form chloride ion. Since gain of electron is taking place, therefore conversion of chlorine to sodium chloride is said to be reduction process. In this process, sodium is oxidized and is acting as a reducing agent, and chlorine is reduced and act as a oxidizing agent. I hope now you must have understood what is a redox reaction, what is an oxidation reaction, and what is a reduction reaction. Now we will discuss another topic, effects of oxidation reaction in everyday life. Oxidation has a damaging effect on the metals as well as on the food. The damaging effect of oxidation on the metals is studied as corrosion, and that on food is studied as rancidity. Thus, there are two common effects of oxidation reaction. First, corrosion of metals. Second, rancidity of food. What is corrosion of metals? Corrosion is the process of deterioration of metals as a result of its own reaction with air, moisture, and the acids present in the environment surrounding it. What is rust? Iron corrodes readily when exposed to moisture and get covered with a brown flaky substance called rust. This process is called rusting of iron. Rust is hydrated iron third oxide with formula Fe2O3.XH2O. Rusting of iron takes place under two conditions. First, presence of air. Second, presence of water. To understand that both presence of water and presence of moisture is necessary for rusting, let's see an example. We will take three test tubes. In test tube A, there is an iron nail, water and air. In test tube B, there is boiled water, iron nail and a layer of oil above it. In test tube C, there is an iron nail, dry air and some anhydrous calcium chloride is kept in it to absorb all the moisture. After some days, we will find that rusting will take place only in test tube A. Why? Because both air, that is oxygen, and water is present in test tube A. In test tube B, there is only water, no air, so no rusting will take place. In test tube C, there is only air, no water, so rusting will not take place. So I hope it is clear that for rusting, both presence of water and moisture is must. It has been observed that presence of impurities in a metal speed up rusting process. Pure iron does not rust. Presence of electrolytes in water also speed up the process of rusting. The position of metal in the electrochemical series determines the extent of corrosion. More the reactivity of the metal, there will be more possibility of metal getting corroded. Corrosion causes damage to car bodies, bridges, iron railings, ships, and to all objects made up of metals, especially those of iron. To prevent rusting, there are some methods. First, alloying. Since rusting of iron is a chemical process that happens because the metal is attaining more stable chemical state, alloying, that is mixing iron with other metals, or alloying can slow down the process of rusting. Second, galvanizing. Galvanizing a metal object means to coat the surface of that object with a layer of metallic zinc. It is an inexpensive process, therefore it helps in prevention of rusting. Third, coating and painting. Coating the surface of a metal object with a layer of either paint or varnish will break the contact between the surface and atmospheric oxygen, making it immune to rusting. Other examples of corrosion are copper reacts with the moist carbon dioxide in the air and slowly loses its shiny brown surface and acquires a green coating of basic copper carbonate. In this figure, you can see copper develops a green coating on exposure to the moist air containing carbon dioxide. The formula of the basic copper carbonate is CuOH whole twice plus CuCO3. Silver articles become black after some time when they are exposed to air because it reacts with the sulfur or hydrogen sulfide present in the air and forms a black coating of silver sulfite. In the figure, you can see how a polished silver spoon is converted into a tarnished silver spoon. The formula of the black coating of the silver is Ag2S. The name of this black coating is silver sulfite. Lead or stainless steel lose their luster due to corrosion. Unreactive metals such as gold, platinum, palladium, titanium, etc. do not corrode because they are very less reactive. Oxidation in food is called rancidity. Fresh foods containing fats and oil smell and taste pleasant, but when it remains exposed in air for a long time, its smell and taste changes to unpleasant. It is said that food has become rancid, or it is due to the oxidation of fats and oil, butter, ghee, boiled rice, etc. after prolonged exposure to air, that is, the condition produced by the aerial oxidation of fats and oil in food marks the unpleasant smell and taste is called rancidity. Or you can also say oxidative deterioration of the fats and oil is called rancidity. Prevention of rancidity. Rancidity can be prevented by adding antioxidants to food containing fats and oil. Antioxidants are reducing agents, so when they are added to food, it does not get oxidized easily and hence do not turn rancid. The two common antioxidants are BHA, butylated hydroxyanisole, BHT, butylated hydroxytoluene. Vitamin E and vitamin C are the two antioxidants occur in the natural fats. Rancidity can be prevented by packaging fat and oil containing foods in nitrogen gas. As you have seen in the chips packet, they become fluffy due to the flushing of the nitrogen gas. It can be retarded by keeping food in the refrigerator. It can also be retarded by storing food in airtight containers. It can be retarded by storing foods away from the light. With this, your both the topics redox reaction and oxidation in everyday life is complete. With this, your chapter is now complete. I hope your all the concepts of the redox reaction must be clear. Now try to do this worksheet for the redox reaction in any sheet of paper. This is assignment 2, worksheet for oxidation in everyday life. Do these questions in any sheet of paper.